Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the NBA Front Office Show special weekend edition. You know, we said this on Friday.
Weekend update.
That's right. Weekend update. There we go. It's possible that there were just so many things happening this weekend that we would have to jump on and do a weekend show. And here we are, because there sure were a number of things that have gone on. And I guess technically we're recording this on Sunday. The weekend is still going, so who knows what's going to happen after this. But the big news, of course, that just recently broke, Joel Embiid with a torn ligament in his right thumb. He does intend to play through it. Keith Smith at Keith Smith NBA. This does not bode well, though, for the 76ers. I noticed he didn't take very many jumpers in their last loss to the Raptors. I've had a chance to finish off that series. It's now a 3-1 series with the Raptors, but Joel Embiid only took 1 3 and one other shot outside of 15 feet in that game. I do wonder how much that thumb is bothering him. A torn ligament is not good news.
Yeah, he was also a little sloppy with his ball handling. His passing was a little off. I think he finished with 5 turnovers in the game. That's not a crazy high number. He tends to be a little bit of a high turnover guy just with the amount of time and touches he gets. But yeah, it's clearly bothering him. He didn't have the same touch around the basket area either. I missed some shots that they're ones he usually makes. So it sounds like it's just going to be a pain management thing with him. He's just going to have to deal with it. We'll see if he can make adjustments to figure out how to play through it better. But and the part that stuck with me is they came out and said it will require surgery after the season. So what does that do in the next year? Like, any ligament in the hand, especially your shooting hand, can really be one of those things that can linger for a while. So, well, we'll see. But he's going to play through it for now.
I mean, I'm not a doctor. Don't play one on TV,
Nope.
anything like that. But Taylor Horton Tucker tore a ligament in his right shooting hand at the end of preseason, knocked him out for a few months. And then we had heard all about how he had been working on a shot all summer and all of that. It seemed like that kind of went away after he dealt with that ligament surgery. You'd have to imagine that's going to, he's not going to be able to spend his offseason working on a shot if he's been dealing with this thumb surgery on his shooting hand. That's not a good thing as well heading into next season. Again, Joel Embiid certainly more accomplished by a lot than Taylor Horton Tucker. So not necessarily reason to sound the panic alarm, but I am going to be concerned if we see a Joel Embiid next game in Game 5 against Toronto that also turns the ball over a bunch and we don't see taking very many outside shots, seems reluctant to shoot from out there. That could spell big problems for the 76ers moving forward into the playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. And by no means am I predicting Toronto is
No,
going to win this series or anything like that. I think there is, if they win Game 5, though, the pressure is all on Philly because, Toronto's just kind of playing with house money now. Now it's about, hey, survive one more game. And you do that enough times, and then all of a sudden we're in a situation. Just to remind everyone, no NBA team has ever blown a 3-0 series lead. So, that is what it is. But, yeah, this is going to be something we'll be watching very, very closely with Embiid to see what does he look like? How, is he handling things? Because clearly their sights are set on something bigger than just winning one first round series. It's, hey, let's get into the next round. And we're going to find out a little bit later today. With the Hawks and Heat haven't quite started their game yet. That's still a few hours away. But we'll see if that series gets extended. It'll get extended at least to a Game 5. But, are we going back to Miami 2-2, or is it going to be 3-1 and a chance to close it? We'll find out a lot here in the next few hours into the evening.
Well, we should mention, too, in that Raptors series with the 76ers, Fred VanVleet left early, actually tore his jersey, like Hulk style, tore his jersey off. It was pretty crazy.
That takes some strength, too.
Those are not easy.
Those necks are not meant to tear through. Yeah. These are not, the cheap Hulk Hogan T-shirts.
They're pre-cut, where they cut the little V, the little notch right here, so you can just.
Yeah, exactly.
That's not the case with these, and Fred VanVleet ripped it to pieces. Now he's dealing with a hip flexor strain, so he's questionable for Game 5. Obviously, that could impact the outcome of the game and I guess the series as well. But I should mention, I mean, Doc Rivers is the head coach of the 76ers. He has blown 3-1 series leads before. But 3-0 hasn't happened. So again, would be a surprise if the 76ers don't advance. But long term, if Joel Embiid is indeed hurt and can't perform at the same level, that could spell trouble for this 76ers team. Let's jump over though. Luka Doncic played for the Dallas Mavericks and they lost. You and I were not predicting this. We thought for sure that the Mavs were simply going to be the better team than the Jazz. In one game, anything can happen. But the game was in the Mavs' hands. They were up 4 with about 39 seconds left to play, and they somehow found a way to lose. A couple of missed free throws down the stretch. What did you think about Luka's performance? And then the Mavs now finding themselves in a 2-2 series when they were right there seconds away from being up 3-1.
I thought Luka looked better as the game went along. I thought in the beginning he didn't look quite right. I don't know that he was quite as explosive. Luka is not a high flyer by any means, but he still is. Every NBA athlete has some level of explosion. He didn't look like he really had that. So that was a little unnerving, I guess, is the best way to put it. But he, as the game went along, I thought he played pretty well. He made the big shot over Gobert late. I think that was what put them up 4. And then, Mitchell came back with an and one. And then, as you said, a couple missed free throws. And then Donovan Mitchell to Rudy Gobert, after all of the talk of it, he won't pass to him on the game-winning pass for the dunk and the lead. And then Dallas oddly called timeout and still chose to go full court.
Understand that.
I didn't fully get that. A lot of people were like, well, they wanted to get guys up with a head of steam. And I was like, I guess, but that's not how it went. Like, it was just very confusing.
Here's the thing. I don't recall off the top of my head. How many, it was like 7 seconds and change or something that were on the clock at that.
13,
it was 13. Okay.
So left. Yeah, totally.
You knew there was a pretty strong likelihood that a double was going to come to Luka. And Luka is very good at passing out of those. I mean, he's a great passer to begin with. But the challenge is that if you're giving yourself less time, the way you typically deal with a double team is it's a pass and then usually another pass, sometimes 2 more passes before you truly catch the defense out of a rotation and then find the open look as a result. That takes a little bit of time. If you're going full court when you're already playing with a shortened clock where you just don't have that much time left, you put yourself up against it, and that's kind of what happened on that final play for the Mavs, where they weren't able to get as good of a look. Whereas if they had 3 more seconds, maybe they probably could have generated a much better look. Maybe Spencer did when he puts the ball on the floor and attacks, and then you get one more drive and kick for an open look. You could have gotten a better shot attempt had you gone out of a half court and then dealt with the double team when it came there, as opposed to bringing the ball up the floor.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just a little. It was an odd decision, and I didn't really hear a full answer other than I think Jason McKidd. Why I said McKidd? I must have been reading something.
It's the McDonald's version of Jason Kidd. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'll take a McKidd Deluxe supersize, please.
It's probably pretty good. I think he did say after that he is that may have been a mistake, I think was how he termed that, but they didn't really get into details on it. But yeah, now we're headed back to Dallas, tied 2-2. That's the only one we know of right now. It's going to go 6, if I remember correctly, right?
Memphis and Minnesota.
Oh, Memphis and Minnesota. Yes, correct.
That was a game. That was a game.
Thank God. Yeah, it was. So yeah, that's I think I was like half in and out of sleep at the end of the night. But yeah. So we're going to take them, right? Let's couple of these series. Let's get them to game 7s because those are the best, games around. But yeah, it's Jazz. I still think the Mavs are okay. Jazz. I'm not going to buy in yet. I need you to see it do it a few times.
I won't be taking note just yet.
Well
had to put that in there. It was funny. My wife, we're sitting there watching the game, and she goes, "Take note." she's like, were they from like Memphis initially or something like that? And because she's like, the Utah Jazz, that just doesn't make any sense. I said, no, but you're close. So not that far off. But yeah, so we do have a bunch of weird names that just teams.
All right, have I ever told you my theory on all
No.
this nickname stuff? All right,
Okay.
let's do it. It's Sunday,
Yeah, why
right?
not?
I get a minute here. So I think when they do expansion would be the best time to do this. I think that the Jazz nickname should revert back to New
Mm-hmm.
Orleans. Teams there, they're established there. They should be the New Orleans Jazz. Utah Jazz is stupid and it makes
Right.
no sense.
Well, but Memphis
Then
Grizzlies is the same. I mean, there's a lot that are like that.
see, you're
Okay,
going
so
with
you're
me.
going to
You're with
Grizz.
me.
All right, all right. Never mind. I will. I
I
will let
think
you roll here.
Memphis Grizzlies, they wouldn't even need to change their color scheme or
Uh-huh.
anything. Should become the Memphis Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And you've already got the varying shade of blues. And then they should give the Grizzlies nickname to Utah, and they can be the Utah Grizzlies. That's been my theory for a while now. There are efforts,
Mm-hmm.
there's mixed stuff that you read about whether grizzly bears have been spotted in Utah again or not, but there's talk of, getting them back reintroduced into, the wilds of Utah. So that's my that's been my theory for a while now. And if you're doing an expansion and we're going to add 2 new teams anyway, let's really go nuts and redo the names. But that's just my silly little dream.
So a 3-team name trade of sorts. So a couple of
Yep,
teams just
of sorts,
switching
yeah.
it.
Yeah, because Memphis becoming like the Pelicans doesn't make
Yeah.
sense either. So,
It's like
but
it's
yeah,
like the Flint Tropics, right? Where some of these names they don't
yep.
make sense once a
Yeah,
team's moved a couple
yeah.
of times, right?
Have
All
you
right.
seen the movie Basketball?
I have, but it's been probably 15
There's a
years at
line in the
least.
movie where it says they're talking about teams moving, and that's why like people don't love sports
Yeah.
anymore. And when they're talking about the teams moving, they're like, and the New Orleans Jazz moved to Utah where they don't allow music. It's just my favorite line. I love it so much. I love that movie. That movie is hilarious.
I'm gonna have to
We
do a
use
rewatch because it's been long enough to where I don't fully remember the plot of it, you know?
yeah, it's not a good movie by any means, but it makes me laugh. It's my typical junior high sense of humor.
I like it. I like it. Well, I'm of that wavelength, so I'll have to check that one out again. Some other news. Kyle Lowry dealing with an injury. We don't know what he says he's going to be available, but we'll
Mhm.
see. It was hamstring, as I recall, for Kyle
Yep.
Lowry in this
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
and
Hamstring. Yep.
those are tricky. I mean, Kyle
Hmm.
Lowry playing and Devin Booker not. Obviously, that hamstring injuries aren't all the
Yeah.
same, but
All
still
different. Yep.
would be a surprise, I think, for him to be out there. And of course, he was frustrated because if you're Kyle Lowry, like this is you're getting up there in years. This is a real shot to win an NBA championship.
Hmm.
To suffer an injury now is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we're into, as you said, we're into the point for Kyle Lowry where it's you don't want to have any missed seasons,
Mhm.
like where you're kind of like, oh, we left a chance on the table there because of an injury. So yeah, I'm very 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 interested to see the no update yet as of now that they're going to play in a couple hours here on Sunday. We have not heard any kind of update though as far as well what that looks like for
Mhm.
Kyle Lowry, and is he going to play? Isn't he going to play? In that, so we'll be waiting on that, and then if he does play, of course, we'll be watching you remember Chris Paul a couple years
Mhm.
ago, where it was like he went out there and played, and it was clear like he should not be out here right now. So yeah, definitely have an eye on that one for sure.
All right, and last but certainly not least, congratulations, Scottie Barnes, Rookie of the Year. Very, very close race.
Mhm.
Were you surprised that it went this way? That it went Scottie Barnes?
Wasn't I thought just looking at the different things, I really thought, all right, it's going to be Scottie Barnes because I just had a sense of enough people are going to give him that nod for his team got to into the postseason,
Hmm.
and they had already clinched it by the time the ballots were due and all that. So I thought that might be it. But yeah, as you said, very close race. Scottie Barnes basically beat
By like
Evan
20
Mobley by
points.
getting more first place vote.
Mhm.
So that's what it came down to. He got 48. Mobley got 43. Cade Cunningham got the other 9. For second place votes, it went Barnes, Mobley, Cunningham, and then Barnes one last third place vote. Then Mobley 378 total points to 363. Cade Cunningham in third, but that makes sense to me, and it's people get, I think, too hung up on Rookie of the Year and get so mad
Mhm.
about it because they're like, in 20 years when this guy was the best player, this is going to look dumb. But it's about what they did as a rookie, not about what they did down the line. I don't, I mean, I don't need to be able to say like award there ever was for his whole career. Like, I have never really understood that thinking, but yeah, Jalen Green was the only other player to get a second place vote. And then Franz Wagner and Herb Jones got a few third place votes between them. So
Well, it was interesting. I thought I had picked Evan Mobley, but this is one of those situations where it's so close. It's not like you could say, "Oh, this player got robbed." No, I mean you've got some really
yeah,
good rookies. I think there were multiple guys that deserving. I
mm-hmm.
think we even said this. You may have said that had it been kind of a Jason Kidd, Grant Hill, where they just give it to two people,
Yeah, I
it
would have
would
been
have
okay with
been
that.
we would have been
Yep.
okay with a situation like that because it is
Yeah.
so close indeed. So,
Here's the only thing that I
mhm.
didn't get. 3 people left Cade Cunningham off their ballot entirely. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense to
Yeah.
me. Um, Somebody left Evan Mobley off their ballot entirely.
Oops.
Like
Yeah.
that's weird. That shouldn't be. Like, come on, he wasn't top 3 for you. Like, I would like to know that. But yeah,
Yeah,
it is what
that
it
is
is.
indeed a strange one and certainly surprising. But in any event, I can't argue with the outcome here for this situation. But I think that's going to wrap things up for today. Nice little week.
Hey, are you caught up on Moon Knight?
I am indeed. I mean,
Yeah,
and then
pretty
now I'm
good,
like,
right?
I've got so many questions after the end of that last episode. I'm
Right?
like,
Yeah.
wait, so was any of this real or
I kept
is
telling people hang in there until
yeah,
the 4th episode. Like if you're kind of not sure about it, like just hang until the 4th episode. So yeah,
so
if you're on
good.
the fence and you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. But hang in till the 4th episode for sure.
I'll tell you what too, like we don't get all that many jump scares in Marvel movies. Like
Yeah.
every once in a while you have them,
Yep.
but the one where Layla's walking along the ledge, I don't know if I should say
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
spoil it or not, but when
No,
the
we can leave it there. But I know where you're
but you
going.
know what I'm talking about. That
Mm-hmm.
scene,
Yeah.
that was a and I was watching, the house is totally dark. I'm watching it by myself because my wife's not into it. So I'm watching it
Oh
by
man.
myself. It's like 1 a.m. or something like that. And that happens. That was a expletive moment
Oh
where
yeah.
I was not
Yep.
expecting that. And yeah, that one got me for sure.
Yeah, it has a little. This was their one where they talked about, right? Because they talked about it in the lead up, like it has some horror elements
Hmm.
and that to it. And in the first few episodes, you're like, I haven't seen any of that yet.
Yeah.
Hits home in this one, so yeah, it was fun, and it's got this episode. If you like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones type stuff, or National Treasure type things. Like it's got some fun stuff like that, and it's a fun show. I know some people are like, yeah, it's just not hitting for me, and I think
Really.
that's fair, right? Not everything needs to be for
Hmm.
everybody, but overall, I'm pretty happy with this one. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, I've loved it. It reminded me a little bit of like the Brendan Fraser Mummy and that kind
Yeah.
of like that had
Yep.
elements of that in it. And just I've really enjoyed it. I've liked this one a lot. But again, maybe I'm in the minority there. I didn't realize people were having issues with it. I'm watching it going, oh, everybody must be loving loving this. This is awesome.
Yeah, I've seen a few, and I personally know a couple people who are like, that's
Hmm.
okay. Like, just they don't seem to be super huge fans,
Oh,
but that's all right. So, all right, little update here. Nuggets up 17 early in the second
oh,
on the Warriors. So maybe they're going to live to play another day, and then that would we'll see if they can close it out. If not, of all series, the Celtics could be the one to sweep in the first round
yep.
tomorrow night. So that's unbelievable. I in my wildest dreams, that's not where I imagined this series was going to
I
go.
mean, I said it was going to be Celtics in 5. Now it feels fairly likely that it'll be Celtics in 4. Well,
Yeah, man, you were the Celtics guy on that pick. I picked Celtics in 6.
unless it's Ben Simmons coming back. Ben Simmons coming back. Does he still come back, by the way?
That's a
I
great
wonder if he
question.
does.
I don't think so. I wouldn't. I just don't think you have any upside. I've seen the argument of, well, what if they win and he looks good? All right,
Then
but
it's
what
3-1.
if
I mean,
they don't? And then and he doesn't look great. Then you're gonna have a whole summer of people saying, "Is this gonna work? What is this? How does this work?" So, quick update out of that series: Robert Williams completely off the injury
mm,
report. Not even on there as questionable, probable, nothing. Ime Udoka said this morning he came out of the last night's game with no issue, no problems at all. That was his exact phrasing on it.
cool.
So no soreness, no swelling, no nothing. And he looked like himself last night. Little rhythm was off a little
To be
bit.
expected.
He was kind of jumping at everything he saw. I think he really wanted somebody to challenge him, like first
To
play,
prove.
and he was either going to foul the guy to or send the shot to the moon. There was well, one or the other was coming, but yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, I don't want to spend a ton of time on it because nobody wants to hear it, but their defense it's just been so good.
Yeah.
Like their game plan. I mean, I retweeted it this morning from when Ime Udoka said, we know how to lock Patty Mills up. When Kevin Durant after the gold medal game was saying we're going to give those Celtics some
Right.
problems. So it's just unbelievable, man. It really is just not, but was not at all what I think anybody could have guessed. How this one would go, but we'll see. Then not now. Get it closed out and get it closed out. Get your rest. Get ready for round
Yep.
two,
That's
which looks like it'll be the Bucks because they went up 3-1 on
3-1
the
now.
Bulls today.
But pretty dominant fashion over the Bulls.
Yeah, two in a
Yep.
row like that too. Yep.
All right. I think that about does it for today. Hope everybody enjoyed a little weekend update here. We'll be back tomorrow with our regularly scheduled show. Till then, stay safe and see ya.